Ryan is looking for a second date update with a woman named Natasha. Hi, Ryan. How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm sure this is not the case with all Natashas, but the few Natashas I've known in my life have been crazy.
Now you stop.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying.
You have quite an affection, actually, for crazy.
Maybe a little bit. I don't know if you detected that in your date with her, but let's start from the beginning. Why don't you tell us how the first date went, and then, well, you can go back further than that. How'd you two meet, and then how that first date went? We'll go from there.
So I never really had an actual, real date with this girl.
Oh.
We met on social media, talked a lot over the course of a couple weeks, and then she stood me up. We were supposed to meet and have dinner at Chewy's, and she never showed. So I just sat there for 2 hours waiting for her, sadly drinking margaritas all by myself.
That's so rude.
I was texting and calling, afraid that something may have happened to her, but she's fine. I saw her posting stuff on Instagram. So she's alive and well. I just want to know, what happened, because we were getting along great on the phone. We had so much in common, and the conversation was so easy. You know, it was real nice, and I was actually really excited to meet her. So this had been a huge disappointment.
That is a huge disappointment.
Yeah.
Look, if you know what, so the first date didn't even really happen.
No.
But these days, people consider these digital back and forths
Those are
forms of
dates.
dating
Yeah.
in a way.
It's like when you're like, oh, are you talking to anybody? You're like, yeah, I'm talking to this guy. And that's kind of like dating, even
Have
though
you
you
ever
haven't
met
met.
in person? Not necessarily.
Yeah.
That's funny. I mean, it's not funny in your case.
Well, I'm new to this. I didn't know that.
Well, do you remember, what the last conversation was like?
We were just talking about our career, our jobs and whatnot. She told me that she works at a salon and I'm in engineering, and that was pretty much it.
And what was the vibe you got from her the last time you spoke when you said goodbye? Did you feel like it was good? Did her tone of voice change at any point? Did she seem to grow cold on you at all? Were there any awkward moments in the conversation that we need to know about?
No, that's why I was still optimistic. Everything was good. Everything was the same. It was a good momentum, so I don't know what happened.
And just to be clear, you had a hard date and time to meet at Chewy's.
There was no confusion on that.
No. I said this year, a couple weeks ago or whatever, and yeah, I told her the time. I didn't say, AM or anything. I said PM. So, yeah, I don't think it's there. It's only one Chewy, so
Well, I think there's actually two.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Yeah, maybe she was in Florence and you were in that. What is that,
Westchester.
Montgomery?
There's one in Westchester now.
True.
And Kenwood.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, maybe she met you with the wrong one.
Well, if that were the case, she would have communicated with him. I would have. He's reached out to her.
I'm not trying to make you feel worse, Ryan, but I have this image of you sitting by yourself in this place for 2 hours drinking margaritas.
Pretty sad.
Yeah, it is.
Having a jalapeno
I feel for the guy.
margarita and refilling yourself from the back of a car of chips and salsa.
Yeah, I feel for you, man.
Thank you.
So we're going to call her up and see what kind of answers we get from her. I've seen situations like this that seem hopeless on one hand end up turning into a big misunderstanding, and maybe this is that.
Well, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll call Natasha and see what's going on with her and how she really feels about Ryan. Coming up next with Jeff and Jenn, Cincinnati's Q102. So Ryan meets Natasha on social media, and they start talking. So what's the deal with you and this guy? Well, we're talking. Have you gone out? No, we're talking. That's like the new form of digital dating now. Mm-hmm. But they had so much in common, clear digital chemistry. So they make plans to meet in person. They have a date and time on the books. They're going to meet up for dinner at Chewy's. He shows up. She doesn't. And this poor guy's sitting there for 2 hours getting loaded on margaritas. Please tell me you Ubered home, Ryan.
I got a list.
I just wonder what the servers were thinking. Did you tell them that you were supposed to be meeting? Did they know that you were in the process of being stood up, or did they think you were just a guy who liked to dine and drink alone and take a lift home?
Aww.
Well,
Which is totally fine, by the way. We've all been there.
I didn't want to come off too sad, so I at least told them I was meeting someone.
Right.
Okay.
I think after the third margarita, they figured out this guy got stood up, and they started to feel sorry for me and gave me one on the house. So
I was just going to say that.
Nice.
So this is something that like I may or may not have done in the past where I wasn't actually going to meet anyone. I just wanted to get a cocktail or two and was kind of hoping if I told a good enough sob story about how I got stood up, I'd be able to elicit enough sympathy to get a free drink.
Ah, jeez.
I'm not saying I've done that.
You thought about
But
it.
it's a good plan.
He knows a guy that's done that.
Meanwhile, Ryan reached out to Natasha on a couple of occasions, but never heard back from her. And we know she's okay because she has posted on her social media since. But as far as Ryan is concerned, it's like he's the ghost. She's just completely ignoring him like he doesn't exist, which is not cool. Like, why set up a date? Why make plans with someone and then just not show and stop talking to him out of the blue like that without any explanation?
Yeah, something weird.
That's rude. So we're going to call her up, Ryan.
cool. Thank you guys so
right.
much. Let's see what happens.
Oh, it's our pleasure. But you just kind of hang back and let us do the talking in the beginning, and then we'll see what we can get out of her, and then we'll bring you into the conversation. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Here we go. Let's call her up.
Hello?
Natasha,
Yeah.
it's Jeff and Jen at Q102. How are you?
What?
It's Jeff, Jen, Fritz, Tim, and everybody here at Q102.
Hey, good morning.
Hi.
Hi. Oh
Hi.
my gosh, you guys. Hi.
Welcome to the party.
Well, you can't be calling about a second date because I haven't been on any dates.
Well, that's kind of not what we heard. We heard you were talking to a guy and you had plans for a date and you never showed.
That wasn't a date.
Oh. Well, are we talking about the same person? Are we talking about Ryan?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so what happened there? Because Ryan was pretty sure there was no confusion and you guys had this date confirmed.
I know. Listen, I am sure he's a great guy. I mean, it wasn't that serious, oh my gosh. I walked into that restaurant and he was sitting there drinking his margarita and wearing a red button-up turtleneck. A button-up turtleneck.
I don't even think I've seen a button-up
I've never
turtleneck.
seen a button-up
I don't even know what that
turtleneck.
looks like.
I didn't even know it existed. And
I'm going to Google it.
Yeah,
So wait a minute. You did go to the restaurant. You did see him.
I did.
And you left him there.
You left him because he was wearing a button-up turtleneck?
Was it like those big buttons, like you might be on a sweater, like you have like one or
Yeah,
two of
it
those
was-
wooden buttons or something?
Oh, yeah, here we go. There's a picture of a big button turtleneck. Now, on the right guy, I bet that looks pretty good.
No, it doesn't.
or was it like a 70s turtleneck with a zipper?
Well, see, that's different.
So you're a person that is very, oh, wow, we are pulling up some
I'm just
interesting ones.
Googling because I needed an image of what some of them look like.
I've never seen that before in my life.
And some of them are really interesting.
That one you pulled up, Jen, that looked
No,
sexy.
interesting.
Like,
Yeah, the first one that came up
Yeah.
was like, oh, man, if this guy's got a nice chest
Like
and
if the
abs
Duke of
and it
Hastings
fits
had it
right,
on, you'd be
if
down.
the Duke of Hastings was wearing that, hell yeah, all day long.
Can you describe the placement of the buttons, Natasha?
Absolutely. It was very zhuzhed up, and there were buttons up the side where the shoulders are, and then a glorious line right up the throat.
It's a big
Oh,
one.
wow.
Okay, so it's a dramatic
So
look.
it was
It's
a
funny.
thing.
Is zhuzhed even a word? Because I got exactly what she meant by that when she said it.
Right?
It's a real word. And
Oh, hey, they sell them at Nordstrom. They can't be all that bad.
I think I've seen Ashton Kutcher in one before.
So based on personal style alone, Natasha, you didn't even want to say hello to him?
It's not that I'm that vain. I looked and I thought to myself, I don't even know what to do with that.
Well, you would unbutton it and remove it. Would be a plan.
For starters.
So you're a person that is you're a visual person. The aesthetic is very important to you, image based. You're looking for a certain look, and anything outside of that look is just not.
Affects the attraction.
Yeah. A lot of people like that.
Not necessarily.
No?
I mean, I think the way a man dresses, says something about him. You know what I mean? Like, Birks and socks say, not trying, and button-up turtlenecks say, not for Natasha.
Okay, so what is the turtleneck saying then exactly?
What does that
to
say
you?
about his character?
His turtle was saying, wound too tight, way too conservative, and definitely vanilla in the bedroom, for sure.
Okay.
Vanilla in the bedroom. That's
Okay.
what this is about.
Buttoned up.
Okay.
So
Now-
an open collared shirt with like some, chest hair popping through. That would be, let's go. I'm open to anything. Is that how you would perceive that?
I'd have to see.
Okay.
It's a case-by-case basis here, apparently.
All right.
Case by case basis. Thank you.
Natasha, let's bring Ryan into the conversation. If you've ever listened to Second Date Update, you know that we have Ryan on the phone, and he's had a chance to hear you out. Ryan, care to respond?
Are you serious?
He's been chomping at the bit for a while to let that out.
And by the way, my mom got me that for Christmas. It's a nice sweater, very expensive, and it is from Nordstrom, and I do have the gift receipt to prove it. I thought I looked nice. And for the record, I'm anything but vanilla in the bedroom, so obviously that's your loss. Like, wow, you're just so superficial and low disappointing.
I just think you're taking it really personally. This was just casual, you know what I mean? We had been talking and we decided to meet up, and it was very, just go with the flow. It wasn't, a solid relationship. It was just a thing,
So what is your opinion on, let's take dark gray long sleeve T-shirts, Natasha. What's your feeling on those?
I would need to know what the neck looks like.
It would be a crew style neck, long sleeve. So it's a T-shirt, just long sleeve T-shirt.
So weird, maybe.
You're probably right about that.
I'm just not into that,
How
I
about
need a man to look like a man.
okay? How about polo shirts, Natasha?
If we're sailing.
It's for sailing.
She wants to see like Joe Burrow
if
showing
it's
up in his sexy
situation
suit.
appropriate.
That's what she wants to see.
I guess so. And Tim is wearing
I'm wearing a sweater hoodie, zip up sweater hoodie.
zip-up sweater hoodie. And what do you have
gray
underneath that?
Target T-shirt underneath. Going to the gym later.
Or a T-shirt, Aces.
Aces, okay. And what about the scarf he's got around his neck?
That's really just to cover up the fact that I need a neck trim.
Acceptable.
Okay.
All right, well done.
Purposeful
It's for a
fashion.
good reason.
Well, I'm sorry we couldn't get a second date out of this, guys. It doesn't sound like Natasha's all that into you, Ryan. I'm sorry.
It's all right. That's her loss. It's fine.
And thank you, Natasha, for coming on Second Date Update.
Yeah. Good luck, guys.